Office workers of Reddit. What's the most annoying thing people do at work that others just accept as normal? Before we get started, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and turn on the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thanks for the support. Taking 15 minutes to discuss something that was fully discussed in the first two. Stop explaining it a dozen different ways or giving a dozen different justifications when we all already agree and understand. Next story. People in a shared office space always using their phone on speaker. There isn't anyone else sitting near them in the conversation. I think it is some sort of weird power move, or they think so at least. Next story. Everyone at my office comments on what one another is heating up in the kitchen at lunch. Usually the comments range from how healthy something is, to asking if it was takeout from the night before, questions about who made your lunch, all the way to physically getting their nose up to your food and sniffing it. I recently ate some healthy Nutella alternative on a rice cake, and someone walking by saw me take a bite and said, "You shouldn't be eating chocolate, it's not good for you." Yet if you pull out a salad, then at least one person will mock you for trying to eat healthy. Just leave me and my lunch alone, please. It makes me so anxious to bring out food in front of anyone for fear of being judged. Next story. It bothers me to no end that my coworkers leave a few seconds left on the microwave after heating food. I go in there to heat something up and there is like 9 seconds on the timer and the microwave is empty. Damn, hit the clear button, Karen. Next story. There's this absolute unit in our office who spends like 4 hours a day shitting, not just on the phone, browsing Reddit, actually shitting. You know, because you can hear him. This man's crap apparently need an audience. Every day. Every single time I go into the restroom, you can hear him groaning, moaning, gasping, and wheezing. Occasionally, I'm unlucky enough to hear the plop, a fart, or a sigh of relief. Those are the worst moments in my day. Apparently, I'm the only one bothered by it though. No one else seems to notice. Next story. Taking your shoes off and wandering around the office. This isn't your damn living room. I don't care about whatever barefoot lifestyle you've committed to, but somehow, weirder is the folks who leave their socks on. I'm still deeply shaken by seeing a guy in my old office wander into the men's bathroom and belly up to a urinal in socks. I don't even want to think about what his socks soaked up during that process. This won't be every office, but I worked in game dev with a lot of unreconstructed neckbeard programmers, and this was frighteningly more common than I'd ever previously imagined. Next story. I work at the front desk, my computer facing the front entrance, my back to the rest of the office. Apparently, before I started working here, it was established that my desk is where the storage closest keys are kept. Every time my coworker needs it and creeps up behind me without a word and opens a drawer to my desk without asking, it feels like an invasion of privacy, and I want to whip around and yell at her. Next story. This one guy that says, "How's it going?" whenever he passes me or walks by my desk, which he has to in order you get anywhere else in the office. Every damn time. It's going fine, Dan. Also, I hate you. Next story. Saying "oh" instead of "0" when half of my job involves taking down randomly generated codes, personal email addresses, and other assortments of letters and numbers over the phone. It matters. Don't tell me that "oh" means 0 and I'm just being a jerk, because I'm just trying to get your damn coupon to work. If I were a jerk, I'd tell you it was expired the first time it came up invalid. Similarly, if you're going to use phonetics, use the NATO alphabet. If you have no idea what that is, at least use common phrases like S as in Sam. When you say F as in fam, I want to take 5 minutes out of your day to explain why we use phonetics on the phone, but it wouldn't matter if I did, because you're an idiot. Next story. Leaving crap they don't need on top of the printer instead of walking 10 feet over to the shredder, or just printing crap and leaving it for 20 minutes. By the end of the day, there's like 50 pages just scattered all over or left in the tray. Every damn time you print something, you end up needing to pick through a stack of garbage that isn't yours to find out where your documents start. Next story. Perfume and cologne. You're in an office building and working. Why are you radiating and polluting every place you go? A little dab is fine, especially if you woke up late and missed a shower or something, but I'm convinced there are 3 people in this office that either bathe in it or drink it, and it oozes out of their skin. Next story. When they eat their hot pastrami sandwich at their desk, which is right next to mine, and then affect a neat and tidy demeanor as they swipe their crumbs onto the floor. Next story. We have this lady at the office next door that'll come over every day and say the same thing. Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. At least the phones aren't ringing right now. How are you? Oops, gotta go. Catch you tomorrow. Rinse and repeat 5 days a week. And she wears perfume so strong you can smell her approaching. Next story, my office mate is a loud eater. Every day he eats 3 large raw carrots like he is a horse. It does not bother anyone else, but it makes me want to rip his face off. Next story, saying happy Friday, making asinine comments, small talk while waiting in communal areas, while heating food, in the lifts, having graphics in email signatures, having 10 different fonts and font sizes in email signatures, obnoxiously loud, shrieky laughter in communal areas, talking nonsense on the phone in shared, cramped workspaces, gossiping. I've always found the amount of toxicity and gossiping in workplaces really appalling. Next story, my very loud coworker, who is also my superior, does a lot of political work. Anyone who knows anything about office politics know all it is just a lot of talking, lobbying, back rubbing, alternatively called ass kissing, etc. He just loves to have these conversations with his office door open, with the person he's talking to on speaker. He has his office phone on full blast, and he'll sit there and have 30 to 120-minute meetings with people with that blasting conversation, booming laughter, awful jokes he uses over and over for different people, etc. Keep in mind, his office is right next to mine. It's very hard to concentrate. Sometimes, I just want to walk in there with a rubber mallet and smash that damn office phone to dust. Next story, talk about sports. It's well known in my office I'm that guy that could be less about football, baseball, basketball, whatever. They will stand directly in front of my desk and talk about whatever happened over the weekend, knowing full and well that it sounds like a foreign to me. Oh, and marital problems. I also do not care. Please shut up. Next story, having a conversation loudly next to the people that are actually working. If you have to take a break every 20 minutes to chat, please have the decency to step outside, or at the very least, stop talking so loudly. I've literally had customers on the phone attempt to respond to people talking near me because it was so loud, they thought it was me talking into my headset. Next story, people being assholes about keeping things clean. I work at a building that has a nighttime cleaning crew. People will stack tons of trash up and then walk past the dumpster on their way to their car and drive away. Not only that, but I have seen someone spill a soda on the ground, and rather than so much as throw a paper towel down and do the foot wipe, they just put a wet floor sign next to it. It's like the fact that their messes get cleaned up magically every night excuses them from being completely divorced from common human decency. It's a big problem in a lot of organizations where the "that's not my job" mentality makes it hard for everyone to do their job. Take some damn pride in your workspaces and make an effort to keep your coworkers happy. People use the most minor inconveniences to be the hills they choose to die on. Next story, stand in the middle of the aisles or stair entryway and talk. I am visibly trying to get around them, but it doesn't matter. The suits are the worst with this. Next story. Lots of things I could mention if I gave it more thought, but the amount of people who chew with their damn mouths open is unbelievable. I refuse to believe that these folks live and grow into adulthood without someone once calling them out on how damn disgusting that is. Shut up when you chew. Next story. Tap on things with their false nails. Look at this. Tap tap, eat citrus fruit, eat fish, office language. Action this is the worst one. When phoning in sick, they use a sick voice. A sick voice. For the crap. Back off. Tap their foot. Touch my shoulder to be friendly. Have unnecessary meetings, especially the ones designed to motivate. When it's your birthday and you're expected to bring cake for everyone. What the heck? Next story. That guy. Every office has that guy. The one who likes to call people pet nicknames when they are in a good mood. Sometimes people will intentionally piss this guy off just to get him to stop. Hey, sport. Jakey, what's up? Hey, Suzanne. B. Anthony. Did you get that report? Next story. A dude in my open plan office very loudly clears his throat every 5 minutes. Someday I'm more tolerant, but other days I'm internally raging and I feel like I could snap. He might have a throat problem or something, who knows? But it ruins my concentration and I can hear it over my music. There's about 15 other people in the office and no one bats an eyelid. Next story. I used to work with this 70-year-old receptionist who would do the same thing every day at 5 p.m. First, she'd put on her coat and gloves, she'd pick up her purse, and then she'd go around asking each person in the office if there's anything else she could do for them before she left. Of course, no one ever said yes, because she was an old woman and had her coat on. What are you going to say? Yes, Dorothy. Take your coat off and make these 500 copies for me. Next story. Used to work in a cliquey, shitty office with ridiculous social etiquette, where when you made a drink, you were expected to ask every single person in the vicinity if they'd like one too, even if you knew they'd always say no. If you didn't, you were made to feel like a selfish asshole. Next story. I work in a call center. This one guy, though, does not understand he can put vibrate on his phone, so the whole office will hear when somebody is calling him on his personal phone. At least now he put the real Slim Shady, and in a meeting where that one guy has a pen in his hands, click, click. Next story. Interrupting meetings, conversations to get a bullshit, unimportant question answered that could have totally waited until later. So we'll need to change these fields for accounting so they're able to update the client's invoice in situations where they didn't receive. Hey, sorry. Hey Bob, did you get that email I sent? The one about bringing in bagels tomorrow? What time do you want me to bring in those bagels tomorrow? No joke. I remember one time I was presenting a project to the CEO and managers of our company, and one of the IT guys starts banging on the window of the conference room to get my attention. I waved him off twice, and then finally on the third time, I paused the presentation, asked everyone in the room and on the phone to give me a moment, and stuck my head out of the room to answer this question. They're setting up your computer at your new cubicle. What side of the desk do you want your computer monitor on? Come on, man. What the heck is wrong with you? Next story. My office mate is older and not healthy. My other office mate and I both have to work at 80+ degrees. We take walks out in the snow to cool off. I constantly nod off from it, and I get nauseated. I want to break that space heater so badly. Next story. Let's see. I've been working at a new gig for about a year. As time passes, the person next to me gets more and more brazen. Started with brushing his teeth at his desk. Kind of annoying. Moved on from brushing to adding mouthwash at the end. Moved on to adding flossing into the mix. Yesterday, he popped a can of shoe polish out and started shining his Velcro shoes. I have no idea what my future will be. Next story. I'm when I've set my status to busy. If I'm available to my status would be available. Happens daily. I wish I could set a rule where anytime I am contacted when my status is busy, the initiator gets an automatic reply that provides Webster's definition of busy. Next story. Bullying. There are 3 women at my workplace who are known as the mean girls and have been known to completely fabricate stories. They've done it to my supervisor, they've done it to me, they've literally made people cry on the floor with their cruel beratements, and many people have quit their department because of their behavior. But for reasons unbeknownst to me, all 3 are still hired. The head of that trio is apparently good at her job, and she has a damn executive position, so that trumps treating people like crap. Next story. These women in their 50s that gossip loud enough for everyone to hear in the hallways and in the bathrooms, then when you say hi to them in passing, they don't acknowledge it and just look you up and down and keep walking like they don't recognize you as worthy of saying hello to. You graduated high school 30+ years ago, ladies. Time to grow up. It's so unbecoming. Next story. Ruin the sugar to the extent that there are solidified coffee dribbles down the side of the jar, not just surprise stray granules. I will find you, and I will force feed you each and every bit of coffee out of the sugar jar, jerk. Next story. 1. Don't reply all when they should, and reply all when they shouldn't, such as saying, thanks, when a company-wide email goes around regarding the tree trimming. 2. Clipping their nails, all of them, weekly. 3. Microwaving fish. Next story. Submitting tickets to help desk and disappearing. Then 2 hours later, after being non-responsive, sending an email to the help desk manager CCing their boss, asking why they can't work because they weren't available to discuss the nature of the issue. If your crap is broken, that is not a pass to go walk about to damn Mars. Stay at your damn phone or your ticket gets closed. Next story. People who just dump their dirty dishes in the sink when you should put it in the dishwasher or clean it yourself. Also, just trashing the kitchen in general is really gross, and I honestly work with the biggest bunch of grubs. Next story. I had a brief dalliance with office work while recovering from surgery earlier this year. I'd never had an office job before, and it was unlike anything I was used to. My big pet peeve was the people who would use our floor's small bathroom as their private break retreat. Other workers would hide in there and gossip at length, or plop down on the little couch and play phone games. Meanwhile, you're 10 feet away trying to take a crap, being subjected to the verbal waterboarding of their meaningless conversation. Back in my usual vein of work now, and nobody does this crap. Next story. 1. Cook smelly food in the microwave. Just bring a sandwich. You don't need to reheat your wife Cheryl's entire Sunday roast dinner for Monday's lunch, thank you very much. 2. Talk on speakerphone, both in common areas and within earshot of me. A conference room is the only place where speakerphone is appropriate, partially on principle, but mainly because the audio is absolute crap for the person on the other end. People have no understanding of audio or acoustics though, so I'm crap out of luck here. These are the same people who put their iPhone on speaker and hold it away from their face to talk. Guess what? The phone was designed to be held to your ear. The mic and speaker are sensitive enough to work properly. You don't need to shout or use speakerphone. 3. Talk to others while standing at the urinal. 4. Enter my office without a knock or a greeting. 5. Annoying ringtones on full blast. Or having the same ringtone as the boss. Next story. Don't make eye contact. Don't make the mistake of responding. Don't even breathe too hard. If provoked, the middle-aged secretary will trap you in a 15-minute minimum anecdote about her family, last job, gym routine. You will be given very precise details down to the milligram, and if you try and derail or even respond with more than a "really?" you will be ignored. Next story. Wear too much cologne or perfume. Not only annoying, but also can be dangerous to others working alongside you. For me, my asthma flares up pretty badly when someone is too heavily scented. And then some people are just straight up allergic to certain scents, or even any artificial scent. Next story. It's not the worst thing in the world, but when people speak like an office drone, I believe this file goes here, taps nails on desk. Let me check. Over-explains tiny detail to you like you're an idiot. The comma goes here, then there, and so on and so forth. I'll check back with you once you're completed, and we'll work from there. Like, I know it's a way to sound professional, but why not speak in specifics like normal human beings? You don't have to impress me with your bachelor's degree. Also, someone I work with will only give me one file at a time, so I'm walking back and forth across the floor multiple times per day. I guess it's a power move, but come on, I'm not going to lose one. Next story. I'm type 2 diabetic, and my coworkers know. I control with diet/exercise. So as long as I watch my carb intake, I can treat myself occasionally. Sometimes someone will bring in a box of donuts, and I'll grab one every once in a great while. But oh, if my boss sees me, he insists on bellowing out, "Hey, you can't have that. You're not allowed." He grins like he's joking. So if I get upset, I look like an asshole. I really hate being put in that position, especially as an introvert. He's actually a good guy and a great boss, but he crosses lines sometimes. He'll also come into my cubicle and stand right over the top of me, after I have told him numerous times that I don't like it. Respect my bubble. Next story. I work in a transcription office, so everyone is typing on a keyboard and listening to audio through headphones. There are some people who type like the keyboard murdered their entire family, or they have some vendetta against it because they type so loud. Some people slam on the spacebar like they're trying to pulverize it, and others just slam every key like they're on a typewriter. Damn, it gets so annoying. If your typing is so loud I can't hear the recording through my headphones, you're typing too damn loud. Next story. Pressing the elevator button multiple times, especially if I'm already standing there and it's obviously lit up. Do you have a secret elevator attraction power I'm not aware of? Those 3 extra presses aren't needed. Just wait like the rest of us. Next story. People constantly talking at me about their weekends or evenings, because we sit in an open office. Because lack of walls means I'm not concentrating on anything, just sitting here trying to look busy and waiting to be talked at. Also, emails. Someone sends out something that is clearly meant for me to respond to, because I have that expertise, and then some other nitwit responds before me. This isn't your area. Now we need to get awkward, because I need to correct and amend and add to what you just tried to say. Next story. When someone brings in a box of donuts, I have to hear 20 people ask who brought the donuts throughout the day, and then listen to them talk about the donuts for 5 minutes. I did an experiment where I brought donuts and wrote on the box that I brought them. Still got asked if I actually brought them. No, Karen, I lied. What the heck? Next story. Guy at my office will just go to the bathroom for 15 to 30-minute sessions, and will sit in the stall doing absolutely nothing except burping of all things. because I'm an absolute child. This ruins my twice daily crap because I have to constantly try to stifle my giggles whenever I encounter the Russian burp shitter. Next story. Nervous leg shaking. Woman in the next cubicle over does this all day long. It resonates, so it feels like a 4.0 earthquake all the time. And the filing cabinet nearby bangs in time to the shaking. Everyone else around me says it's just a nervous tick, and it doesn't bother them. Damn you, Joanne, it's slowly killing me. Next story. When people walk into your cubicle and hover over you. Luckily, I work from home full-time now, but I go into the office from time to time. I have one coworker who is always coming into my space and hovering over me as I work, or almost leaning into me to talk to someone on the other side of me instead of walking around. Next story. Making small talk to me at the urinal, unless you're having a sudden medical emergency, or warning me that I'll fail to notice a deadly snake inexplicably guarding the drain. There's nothing you could say that can't wait 30 seconds until we're standing outside, or at least drying our hands. Next story. Not an office worker, but my workplace does have a shared break/tea room. There is someone who always microwaves what I can only guess is some form of egg-based food or just eggs. The smell is absolutely putrid and lingers out into the workplace. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Next story. When I ask for some branches to collaborate client lists, to add promotions to them, or something like that, and they share a PDF document of handwritten notes, an image embedded on the mail text. A group of clients long the mail text, not even listed. Next story. Non-stop interrupting, like asking long questions or starting big discussions with me while I am deeply focused. Please just ask me, do you have a few minutes? So I don't have to appear rude to you. Next story. Walking by people in the hallway going the opposite direction and they say, "Hi, how are you?" But they don't stop walking. Why would you ask a question and peace out? Just say, "Hi, what are some things your coworkers do that really annoy you?" The desire to have the best stuff, to need the good desk, to be first in line for a laptop upgrade. Basically, people elbowing their way to the front of the queue for anything that they might get first, better, more than the rest of us. I used to sit next to a couple of people who had a bitter spat over who would get the window desk when we moved to a new office. It didn't occur to either of them that anyone else might like it. One of them turned up 2 hours early on the first morning and literally glued his stuff to the desk to claim it as his own. He, rightly, feared that the other would swap their stuff over the moment his back was turned. The other threw a tantrum and resigned when she found him sitting there, throwing her ID badge across the room as she stormed off. Then she slunk back in about an hour later, having been home to collect enough work-related paperwork, demo materials, books, etc., that she felt justified claiming both the 2 desks next closest to the window. For some time afterwards, she would sit next to Glue Guy and intermittently spray him with a can of air freshener that she took from the toilets because of his alleged poor personal hygiene. In response, he went out and bought a pair of ear defenders, which he'd pointedly put on whenever she started speaking to him. They were both in their 50s and both professionals. Next story. I work as a financial aid counselor, so our main job is to help students navigate the various applications and figure out how to pay for school. So many of my colleagues are constantly annoyed with students who have stupid questions, when it is literally our job to explain things to them so that they understand it. If they didn't have any stupid questions, we wouldn't have a job. Next story. We are on a campus. Not a school, but many buildings. There was a woman at our office, now retired thank God, who claimed one of the refrigerator drawers as her own because she had been in that particular building longer than anyone else. She made sure to tell me this within the first 5 minutes of my move to that building. She also complained to an executive director that they had parked in her spot. The parking spots are not assigned. There was a small piece of furniture in the restroom with a shelf. She once put a post-it note on the shelf with the words, "Please dust," for the cleaning crew. It would have taken her less effort and time to just grab a paper towel and dust it off herself. She once called me into the break area to show me a wadded up paper towel that had been on the floor between some cabinets for 10 days. She was keeping count, and the cleaning people hadn't yet picked it up. I picked it up and threw it in the wastebasket that stood 2 feet away and said, "There, now you can quit counting." She probably dropped it there herself. Next story. I have one coworker who has just the worst work ethic. She only wants to do the easier work and claims she hasn't been trained on anything else. I know she has the training because I am the one who trained her. Next story. One annoyance is when coworkers ask me question on Slack or let me know of a problem. I respond back to them in 30 seconds, and they're just gone. I don't hear back from them for a couple of hours. So annoying because I'm going to have follow-up questions. The Google is broken is not enough for me to go on. Don't interrupt what I'm doing unless you're willing to give me 2 minutes of your undivided time. Next story. One tries to barge in front of my monitor on every freaking video conference. Another pokes and rubs against my legs begging for attention and tries to bite me if I don't comply. Ah yes, I do contract work from home with my sweet but annoy cats. I'll take them over the pen clicking guy or toenail clipping guy any day. Now annoying clients on the other hand, definitely have some stories there. Next story. When I was working in the office, people did not respect the open plan. They were loud. They used oil diffusers that caused me horrible headaches. They let their things spill into the aisles or extend into other cubes. It was so distracting. I hated it. And I had to go to HR about the oil diffuser because she was told multiple times to take it down. Next story. Insists on scheduling things as early in the morning as possible. She is particularly fond of Monday mornings at 7 a.m. This is extra annoying as our work has no set hours for the most part, with only meetings and a few other tasks happening at specific times. I don't actually have to be at work on Mondays until noon, which I often take advantage of, until I'm forced into as crack-early non-urgent meetings by one person because she has kids, but also a stay-at-home spouse. Nearly all of my other colleagues tend to opt for slots in the 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. window, which is comfy. This is just one example of people forcing their specific habits and pacing of their days onto others without any thought of interpersonal differences. I love to work at night, but I'm never going to schedule others into meetings or collaborations at 9 p.m. Next story. Working from home people who would call me at work and ask me to do their job for them on a particular day because it was their working from home day. Next story. We have one tea kettle for 100 employees. The kettle holds 12 cups. When it's full, it takes a good 15 to 20 minutes to boil. In the mornings, there is a line of people waiting to use the kettle. Common courtesy dictates that when the kettle is empty, you fill it full and turn it on, and then when done, you fill your 1 cup and move on, and let others use up the rest of the hot water. Also, that if you empty the kettle, you fill it full up and turn it on for the next people. So many people just boil enough for their 1 cup of tea, despite the line of people. One woman fills up her cup of tea, and then a huge thermos with hot water, using all 12 cups of water. So then the people waiting now have to start all over again heating up 12 cups of water. I have ended up waiting up to 40 minutes or more to get a shot at getting 1 cup of hot water out of the kettle due to these sorts of shenanigans. Now I bring my own in, or buy it, though I would be nice to have a proper piping hot tea at my desk as I start my day. We are not allowed to bring in our own kettle from home, and management won't buy another one, and there is no extra outlet to plug a second one anyway. Next story. When they unplug air mattresses, risking a pressure injury for the patient, or when they go against the care plan and use the wrong equipment with the patient, risking a fall, which could kill or seriously injure the patient, or when they dress them in clothes 6 sizes too big, so the patient can't walk without their pants falling down, so they have no dignity, but also increases falls risk due to tripping over clothes. Or maybe when they leave someone on the toilet for an hour and come in and turn their call bell off because there are other people to see. Next story. I really like my coworkers and get along well with them. However, one guy talks and talks and talks about the most inane things. If he isn't talking, he'll just stand in my office. I don't mind talking, but what could be a 5-minute conversation will last an hour. No exaggeration. It's just hard to be nice at times. Next story. Coworker sends email. Coworker then sends an instant message 37 seconds later, letting me know they sent an email. Coworker asks me for assistance for part of a task. No problem. Then it can go one of a few ways. Assumes that I will take over that task, or be completely ambiguous about who is doing what to complete the task. Or will continue with the task on their own, but continue to provide mundane updates about it. Remote working makes this a little worse, I think. Hoping it will get better as we get back into the office and can just speak to each other about it for 5 seconds. Next story. I currently have a coworker who likes to share her antiquated viewpoints on gender. She doesn't get all the new categories. Harassment. She wouldn't mind being harassed, and I'm somehow stuck listening for 5 minutes. Next story. Not a big deal, but honestly, sometimes I just want to be left alone. I like having a work friend, but when they are on PTO, I have so much more energy. It's one thing to ask work-related questions, but the constant social conversations over Slack are exhausting after a while. Next story. Moaning around my desk like a ghost because the printer, not my printer, is jammed or out of paper. If you can't deal with basic printer issues in the 21st century, go live on a farm in Amish country. I am not your work wife. Oh, and the foodies. If there is any occasion for food in the office, the foodies go nuts trying to eat and slash or hide away for later, take home, etc. Next story. My favorite is when I work on something for weeks and then show it to my boss, and because she doesn't immediately understand it, her default take is to shoot it down. I have an interview somewhere else next week. Next story. I'm an electrician, and I have to deal with a lot of other trades for various things. Without fail, these jerks will call me at 2 p.m. for an urgent thing they need from me the next day. Every damn time. Here's a thought. Let me know a week before you plan on needing this done, and then I can make sure I have the materials I need, as well as find a time to do it. These are not weird emergency situations either. These are just normal things that need to get done. I assume they plan their week out and know when they will be there and need this stuff done. But nope, I'm going to tell you the day before and then grumble that it's not done. Next story. Whenever I'm training a coworker, the first thing I do is make sure they have a pen and paper or a Word doc open. Step 1. Show them the first step. Then, make them write those keystrokes down. Step 2. Repeat step 1 until they have the keystrokes needed to complete that task in the future. Lastly, ask them to make a folder to hold directions for every task they need for their job. Hopefully, it ensures you only have to train them once per task. It's worked for me in the past. Some of them have made copies of their training manual for other newbie employees. Next story. The end of my day is my most productive time. I use the last 45 minutes to square myself away, finishing tasks, doing hard stuff that I've been putting off all day but have to do before I go, etc. My coworkers seem absolutely mystified why I am not interested in chit-chatting for the last half hour of the day, and these folks have worked with me for years. I've politely asked them to let me finish tasks instead of talk, or straight up said, I have 30 minutes left to do 10 different things. I really can't talk. And they still choose to try to interrupt me and attempt to have extended conversations about random crap during those times. I just don't understand why people have such a hard time reading body language. When someone is giving you one-word answers and not looking toward you when you talk, it means now is not a good time. Go away. Next story. Making the same exact mistake over and over and over and over. Not thinking things through before submitting a project. Not using the pre-submission QC checklist my department created for them. Basic incompetence. I don't work in a physical office, so their personal habits don't bother me. It gets old telling the same person to fix the same mistake for the 100th time though. Oh, and Teams messages that pop up, and then they have another thought so it pops up too. And then they have another thought so that one pops up too. Oh, and they forgot some other detail so that pops up as well. Consolidate your thoughts before hitting submit, people. Next story. I can't stand it when unqualified individuals try to pass themselves off as superior than others. You know, the person who doesn't listen to advice and/or ask for help on things. Then when crap hits the fan, he's nowhere to be seen. I can deal with most other office politics and bullshit because I know my capabilities and I know my weaknesses. I know when to ask for help, and I follow the advice of my peers. 15 years ago, I had a boss tell me, there's a fine line between arrogance and intelligence. You are incredible at what you do, but your arrogance will sink you. The guy I work with right now is an idiot. He is drastically unqualified, but he has spent 2 years trying to make himself look better than me, but can't grasp basic concepts or listen to the advice of his peers. The only reason he is still around is because my work has kept him employed. After 2 years of bitching to my boss, his boss loves the dude, I think it has finally come out that yes, he doesn't deserve to work here. I'm hoping in the next few months, he either straightens up or gets fired. Next story. That's the type of coworker to be avoided. Someone who repeatedly asks you to do something unfamiliar to them instead of asking you to show them how. The biggest red flag is when somebody calls asking for a major change or update to something when those requests should be done via email due to their complex or sensitive nature. Major changes should have a paper trail or some documentable evidence. And speaking of documents, how many important attachments have you received that are just named document? Major contracts, bids, insurance forms, all named document. I don't miss office work a bit. Next story. Sat next to a dude, and for several days, unpleasant wafts of gas intruded my workspace. Eventually, I asked him kindly to please stop farting in the office. He got defensive, then it stopped. Seriously, everybody farts. If it happens once or twice, fine, but a couple of times per hour, several full days, and you better do something about it, without anybody having to bring it up. Next story. I have a coworker who loves trying to take over my projects. When she doesn't understand why I made a certain decision, she'll schedule meetings, without me, to make her own decisions about my project. The disrespect is infuriating. Next story. In a shared office space with partitions, there was a day that there were only 5 of us instead of the usual 8. One guy says, "Hey, a little music never hurt anyone. Let's liven up the mood a bit," and proceeded to turn his music on regular volume, no headphones. It's like, now I have to go out of my way to now ask you to turn it down or off, making me feel like the rude one. I didn't. I just went to lunch. Next story. The only pet peeve I really have is our parent company asking for urgent analysis/information about something when they've had ages to do it but just forgot to ask us for our part until the last minute. Next story. Unnecessary noise. Listening to their music on their headphones, which on its own is absolutely fine by me, but then they start playing the drums on their desk. Grossly distracting. Next story. Opens multiple vitamin bottles for his daily dose of supplements. Every day. I'm so tempted to buy one of those 7-day pill organizers and anonymously leave it at his desk. Next story. I used to ask for information off the database that he controlled, and he would just stand up and say, "You can find it faster than me," then he would walk off. Next story. They call in sick when they are not sick. We have a very small team that is already stretched thin and walking on a razor's edge. When one person calls in sick, everyone else has to work that much harder, because we still have just as much work to do. A few months ago, the entire support staff of the clinic where I work was ready to walk out. I would not be surprised if we get there again, very soon. Next story. I don't understand when people are tasked with training, and then they aren't available for questions or take hours and hours to respond. I get that training sucks, and that it can be annoying, but if you leave new people hanging, then they'll forever act new and needy. One short demonstration isn't enough for a lot of people, especially when it's their first time taking on a new responsibility. Next story. Loud, obnoxious talkers. The ones that have to talk all the damn time. No, the whole office doesn't care what you did on vacation. The whole damn office is not interested in how gay people have sex. Shut up and zip your pie hole. You might learn a thing or two in meetings, and they won't drag on for an hour for a 15-minute meeting. Newsflash, you're not that important. Next story, burping, farting, no volume control, gotta outtalk the next guy. Coworkers complaining about tasks they gotta do when they have the easiest job in the house. Yeah, I work with a bunch of filthy brewers. Next story, sings. Usually the same song, so it gets stuck in my head, even at home, and thinks out loud as she's working on something. I'm having to hear her whole thought process. Of course, that's only when she's actually working. Spends a lot of time chatting with other people about non-work stuff, how much work she has to do. Like, how about just shut up and do the work? I get the need for little chit-chat breaks and doing what you need to do to get through the day, but also, hey, there's other people trying to focus on their own work here. We sure don't need a play-by-play of every thought and song lyric passing through your head. Next story. I don't like being stopped on my way to the restroom or to heat up my lunch by a coworker asking me to do something for them. I'm in HR. Don't put it on me to remember your request, to not get distracted by someone else before I make it back to my desk. Standard reply equals send me an email. It also annoys the crap out of me when people clip their nails or constantly blow their nose at their desk. Don't get me started on people that microwave their leftover fish for lunch. And I freaking hate inquiries on what I'm eating. Mind your business. Next story. Newbies. Having no respect for older members of the team teaching them. Refuses to engage. Being fake and talking to me in person, but never talks to me otherwise. Instead, bypasses the team member supposed to be teaching them to the manager. Bringing past trauma to current workplace. Always talking about new workplace. Always wanting to chat when in the office. We have work to do. This is Jota market. Thinking just because they are older in age from other team members have to automatically respect the elders. Next story. It is annoying when first thing in the morning, the coworker comes to work like she just rolled out of bed, doesn't say good morning unless I do, and generally looks miserable. And it's so obvious she doesn't want to be there. It's like a huge black cloud just rolled in. In an already unhappy workplace, people like this just adds to it. And I am one of those people who feels bad vibes ruins my day. Next story. Rambling on and beating around the bush. I wish they could just say, no, that's not a good idea, let's not do that. Instead, it's like, well, I think maybe we need to have a conversation and see if this is something that aligns with our values. And if not, then decide which route we want to take to move forward that will yield the most desirable results, or some crap. Next story. Got a coworker that is incredibly lazy, no initiative. He will do the absolute minimum that he has to, delegates his assigned tasks to others, while always managing to seem like he is doing something. He isn't. Always asks to leave early if it's slow, and the boss won't fire him because we haven't found a replacement for him. Next story. Being nosy, staring as if they're analyzing you, standing very close up on you at the microwave in the lunchroom or vending machine, being loud, standing around by your desk or in the walkway, gossiping and walking in your way and not say excuse me. Next story. I have a coworker who talks about himself to me. I have no interest in his bullshit and avoid him, but he always comes back around, yapping about himself and his life. Annoying. What's the most annoying thing your coworker does? I have 30 minutes for lunch. My coworkers use that time to have impromptu meetings. While I'm eating, it drives me damn nuts. Like I'm trying to smash a sandwich down my throat, and you want to have a pre-meeting about a meeting in 2 days? What the heck? I'm in education, and they don't do this often, but when they do, I'm so annoyed. This is my time. Next story. He doesn't wash his nuts often enough. Whenever we work in close proximity, I get that awful urine/sweat smell. It's not even egregious. It just makes me puke a little in my mouth. Next story. I work from home, so basically none of those are applicable to me. The most annoying things my coworkers do is call me with a 20-minute conversation about something that could just be a note on the data they're submitting me, especially because I have 60 people potentially doing this, and I can't keep them all straight if I don't get this in writing. Next story. There is a woman on my team who is the biggest crap talker. I'm not exaggerating when I say that the first thing I heard her say, literally the first sentence out of her mouth, was gossip. It wasn't, "Hi, how are you? My name is." It was literally her just trying to bash another coworker. She was assuming that I would participate in that gossip. I have never done that with her, and I have no desire to. When she realized I'm not really about that, she took it personally, and she will leave me out of emails. She will snub me, but I don't care. I don't give in. When she isn't gossiping to coworkers, she has her AirPods in and she is gossiping to friends all day. She will walk around the building all day, talking into her damn AirPods about who is cheating on who isn't disciplining their kids, who's up to what. She does this in the break room. She does this in the bathroom. She does this when going up and down every hallway of the entire facility. It's like she has to remain in this perpetual state of chit-chatting and gossiping. In the 3 years we have worked together, I don't recall one 5-minute block of time where she wasn't talking. She can't lock in and shut up. We are remote now, so thankfully I deal with her a lot less than I used to. Next story. Suck up to boss. Act like the boss. Talk. Do BA without knowing the platform or understanding it. Not do their work and does side quest in the company. Complains about the work she has to do. Constant mistakes. Next story. Hearing happy day of the week from multiple people on the same freaking day. Listening to music on speakers. Not everyone in the office likes your taste in music. Wearing too much perfume. There was a coworker that would wear so much perfume that the whole office smelled of musky, spicy, floral grandma perfume. Fighting over the air conditioning. One half the office was either too cold or too hot. They eventually passed out personal heaters to the people that were too cold. There would be so many people using heaters that the power would trip and whatever you were working on would be lost. Next story. Come in every day, late, then regale me with every single item of food they ate over weekend, then the night before. Then tell me their weight, and ask Grok the difference. There's only 2 of us in the office, it's driving me mad. Oh, and constantly drop a place they used to live in to enable them to say, "Oh, so-and-so, my old mate, got millions. Please shut up." Next story. Profess to be madly busy, yet get up every 15 minutes to go smoke for 10 minutes. Talk so loudly on the phone that you have to stop working until she finishes because your focus is gone. Next story. Whistle. Tunelessly and endlessly. Complain to HR, multiple people have. Swears he doesn't even know he is doing it, and therefore is bereft of any culpability, apparently. Next story. Come in 20 minutes late every day. Spend the entire day with his phone stuck to his head. Attempt to do his job, poorly, with one hand because of said phone. Make the job as difficult as possible. Waste as much time as possible. Exist. He exists. That's my biggest annoyance, his existence. Next story. Totes his journeyman ticket around like it actually makes him good at his job. Meanwhile, a relatively new apprentice we picked up last month has a higher attention to detail and more tool skills than he does. I've always stood by the idea that going to trade school and getting your journeyman/Red Seal ticket should be the goal. However, being good in a classroom or controlled environment doesn't give you a lifetime of experience. It's an acknowledgement that you know enough about the trade you're in to complete work unsupervised and sign off on others. But these newer hotshots want to act like the world is owed to them because they're recently out of school? Homies, there's reasons that most trades have supplementals that none of these window lickers have ever even heard of. Okay, that's my rant. I'm done for the day. If this offends you, do some self-reflecting. Next story. The men in our office are absolute toddlers. Talk about politics all day long, including some really offensive stuff. Listen to political podcasts at top volume on their phone. Leave a mess everywhere they go and don't clean up after themselves. Leave dirty dishes in the sink for days/weeks at a time. We're having a rat infestation and ant problem, and I came into work this morning to find food trash and dirty dishes all over the kitchen. Then they are shocked we're having rat and ant problems. Then the rest of the employees who don't work in the office bitch and complain about our availability. Sorry, I'm dodging rats and trying to eat in a kitchen where grown-ups don't know how to clean up after themselves. If the field agents had to deal with any of this crap, it would be taken care of already. But they seem to think we're just not tough enough or something. Next story. Fake, two-faced, keep tabs on other people even though they have no effect on them. They literally take it upon themselves to get their kicks from it. Real loser crap. People must be so bored. I work with a gargoyle who refuses to allow the 2 colleagues under her to have work from home rights just because she doesn't believe in it and she lives 5 minutes from the office. Mind you, half of the department has at least one work from home day, and these poor souls are stuck with this monster with the smallest bit of authority over them. Absolute loony control freak. Literally drives past work and keeps tabs on which cars are in the car park in case you took an early minute and it didn't match your timesheet, but can talk to you like she's your best mate. Damn weird. Next story. Cutthroat is the worst to me. You don't have to be best friends with your coworkers, but you should have their back unless they give you a reason not to have it. At my last job, I worked with a few people who would throw everyone under the bus, would send an email with pretty much the whole office CC dev announcing that they found a mistake you made. It infuriated me because when I found a mistake, I'd tell them privately so they could fix it. I think that's common coworker courtesy. I managed to stop the CC-ing behavior in one case when she gleefully called what she thought was a mistake to my attention with all my bosses CC'd, and she was confused. It was not a mistake. I sweetly told her so and explained why, then hit reply all. Damn, that felt good. Next story. During her lunch break, it coincides with my 15-minute break, she would watch YouTube super loud without a care in the world that it is disturbing other people in the break room. She would floss and wash her mouth in the sink in the break room instead of washing her mouth in the bathroom. She would also FaceTime family members from Vietnam and talk super loudly during lunch. She acts like she's the crap because she's shift lead, but you've been working here since 2008. I started only a couple months ago, so there's a lot of things I don't know yet.
Why are you such a
I was in kindergarten in 2008. You basically have been working here for as long as I've been alive. Next story. Complain, complaint, and complain. I recently started at this company, and it's the best place I've worked at. There are office politics where teams just can't communicate with each other, which is kinda sad. They also get angry at any little thing or mistake. I got roasted for some mistake which was unnecessary, and then that same colleague that did it to me got her ass handed to her, and then called me to have a cry about it. She must have amnesia, or rocks in her head. Either way, she doesn't bother me too much. But like, get a grip and be a professional. It costs nothing to be nice. Next story, I would say as a 24-year-old. Coworkers who irritate me. Some coworkers may have more than one of these traits. Exclusion is a big for me. Age biases, or biases based on identity. Weight loss is my whole personality. I peaked in high school and haven't lived without constant attention. Usually they gossip on random BS that nobody cares about, and/or has backstabby behavior and humor that attacks another. The coworker who wants to be loved by everyone and flirts with every man they come across. Or instilled a family dynamic where they call people dad, husband, or son. Next story. Well, I have a colleague who does number 7 quite a lot, but in person, she is so chirpy and woohoo! It drives me insane because I see right through it. She has also done number 6, which is one of my absolute biggest pet peeves, especially considering that our org has a very flexible WFH policy, and there's no reason for her to come in sick, as she can do 90% of her job from home as needed. My boss does a ton of number 1. He's a bit of a downer, but he is also funny and doesn't micromanage, so I forgive him and try not to play into the gossip game. I'll just listen. Next story. Prefaces every statement with ma'am, sir. He has been told repeatedly by every other teammate not to do this. We are an informal team. He insists it's respectful. He has been told that it is not respectful to refer to somebody in a way they have asked him not to. He also stares at all the women on the team and every female client. It's gross. Clients have complained as well. Everybody liked him at first, but he's worn out his welcome. It's only a matter of time before a body is found at his house. That's how creepy his staring is. Next story. The last person I worked with at the front desk was tolerable. We got along, but had different personalities and just didn't vibe. She was okay in my book until I noticed an error someone made in an email about a date for a meeting. I told her it was wrong, and she replied telling them the error, and she was thanked. And I never told anyone it was me who really caught it. I never got credit, and I don't like causing waves, so I never confronted her or told anyone but my spouse. But I'm a firm believer in what goes around comes around. Next story. Be so stressed about feedback from our higher-ups that it holds up our daily work. I love her, but our other teammate has been out of town this week, so we took on the workload and she is fully spiraling. I try to give her the praise/acknowledgement that our management is terrible at providing, even though it's so obvious she needs it, and we could all use it. And it would be so easy for them to give us a couple crumbs if they read one management book, etc. But part of me wants to tell her to stop giving so much of a crap. Next story. One of the coworkers I had that I disliked was a woman who was very nice to me specifically, but she would talk down to a lot of people. When we went to trainings, she would argue with the instructors for extended periods of time while everyone else looked uncomfortable. She thought she was smarter than everyone wherever she went. She was definitely smart, but her attitude overshadowed it. IMO. She did have a following and a circle of friends, but I kept my distance. That's a big no for me. Next story. Addresses people by name in every single sentence. Even if it's a one-on-one conversation, they manage to throw it into any sentence, even in the most unnatural places. It drives me crazy. It makes me feel like they're trying to convince me of my name. They sound like they read a self-help book that told them people like being addressed by name, so they do it as much as possible. It comes across as very fake and makes me uncomfortable. I can't stand it. Next story. I work with a couple. They knew each other before working here. She was firstly employed here and recommended him 2 years ago, and it's so damn annoying that they can't separate their personal life from the work environment. I don't know, maybe it's only me, but it's so damn annoying that they don't relate to each other only as colleagues here, since they are on different teams. That and number 5 on your list, because they spend time together at work. Next story. Years ago, when I had an office I had to go to every day, I had a big, fat, smelly dude who sat in the cubicle in front of me who used to jack off under his desk about every day. I could hear him grunting when he released, and it was totally disgusting. He eventually got caught in the act and was fired. They had to replace the carpet in that whole section of the office due to the disaster he had created under his desk. Try and top that. Next story. I had a deskmate in a 4-person pod who talked quietly to herself all day long. We were in communications, as she worked. Our division got bought out and was disbanded. Honestly, it was a relief. I don't wish ill on anybody, but I wanted to tell her to just shut the F up for Chris' sakes at least 5 to 6 times a day. I should have just moved, but the guy across from me was my supervisor and a great dude, so I sucked it up for 3 to 4 years. Next story. When you say or do something correctly, and it's met with, "No, actually," exactly what you just said or did except they are saying or doing it. My boss was this kind of person. Drove me insane. Move equipment, say, "No, it's in the wrong spot," only to say you were wrong and put it back in the same spot. No for the sake of being in power or some envious bullshit. Next story. One of my colleagues is unnaturally bubbly and happy. Major suck up to the seniors and management. I find his bubbly attitude incredibly irritating at 7 in the morning. He works on another team within my department, and I am told he is very not knowledgeable. I genuinely believe the unnatural happiness and bubbliness are a cover-up for who the guy really is. Next story. My most immediate coworker is HR in the office next to mine. We just got a new gal because the other one quit. Well, thank God the other gal quit because she was a non-stop negative gossip, always talking crap about the boss. All day, to anyone who would listen. I got so tired of hearing it. New gal is quiet, and I don't gotta listen to the negativity anymore. Next story. Telling the same story numerous amounts of times. Extending meetings due to talking about things unrelated to the meeting. Talking about politics. Luckily, we are only in the office 8 days a month. We choose which 8 days. So the politics talk and repetitive stories are only heard when I'm in the office at the same time as that person. Next story. Constantly setting calls for me outside of my work hours. Always being late for meetings, calls. It's both super annoying and stems from a deeper lack of respect for other people's time. Bonus. Rescheduling calls to first thing in the morning, in the middle of the night, so you have no chance to know early enough to prepare. Next story. I love the dark. Keep room dark. Dark mode on everything like Outlook, Chrome, etc. Have specific extensions to make everything and anything dark mode. Brightness on monitors under 20%. Then this jerk comes in twice a week and turns the room into an operation room. Leaves early and leaves everything on. Next story. 1. They breathe. 2. They don't open windows. 3. They are noisy. 4. They give me work. 5. They yawn. 6. They drink too much coffee and I have to service the machine more often. 7. They forget to turn off the lights even on a bright sunny day. This is why home office better. Next story. 1. Whistling. And it's like an under-the-breath whistle, but it goes for hours. 2. Work on their own extra work and sneakily putting the crucial day-to-day on the rest of us. 3. Management that only hinders attempts at progress and says no to any and every idea, request. Next story. It's pretty tame and more of a pet peeve than anything else, but I absolutely hate doing the following. Hi, how are you? I hope the day is going well. I have a question, if you have some time. It drives me mental. 1 paragraph, 1 notification, please. Next story. 10. I have colleague in technical program management position who is supposed to manage software development area. She doesn't have any CS background or knowledge, but loves talking about her releases or hard code-based dependencies all the time. Next story. Cutthroat. If it means he looks better to the guys up top, he will absolutely throw someone under the bus for breaking a rule. My problem as a coworker is I don't STFU about stuff in general. I'm working on it. Next story. Talks political talking points all day about how lazy people are, then slips away as soon as the real work starts. He's also sexist and says anything to get a rise out of people. I mostly ignore the little golem. Next story. I work with a yelly lady. Everything is an inconvenience and an opportunity for an expletive-laden rant. Gets old pretty quick. We have the option to work from home whenever we want, so I mostly do that. Next story. Spend the first 5 to 10 minutes of every meeting talking about something that isn't on topic. I just want to work and not sit in a meeting for an hour straight while everyone dances around the topic. Next story. Has sleep apnea and won't do anything about it. Sleeps about 1/3 of our shift and snores incredibly loud. Doesn't care. I throw heavy stuff and make noise. He gets mad but won't change. Next story. TikTok scrolling with volume. I have a high tolerance for random noises, intermittent keyboard clacking, chairs adjusting, etc. But something about TikTok noise is so unnatural. Next story. We don't work together anymore, but he used to brag so much and constantly one-up me on every little thing. I was so happy when he left, and I think my manager as well. Next story. The newest coworker is a bit of a food snob. Almost every restaurant is mediocre, and he says he can do better. Just because you cook doesn't mean everything else is crap. Next story. One dude I worked with had a nervous habit of playing with his nipple when talking to anyone. I called him the titty twister. You'd try to walk away, and he'd follow. Next story. Talks about her new boyfriend she gets every 3 months. Proceeds to say how great he is. About a month later, starts complaining about how bad he after the breakup. Next story. Being two-faced. Always offers to help with things. But the moment you do, they get almost viciously angry that you asked. So I ask someone else instead.